But like 2, you can do that in hand. So she will, when she's like paying attention, you can tell her to canter next to you. So you can even work on it if you can run really fast, I guess. But the better your horse is at, so it takes muscling to do it as well. So not every horse can just go look and bring a little circle in here, you know? So I tell her to canter. I can teach her. Knows what it is. And I'll ask him to come back. So right now, he's coming to this shoulder when I want him over here. So I'm going to take my whip hand and push him out to my other side. So I want to keep my whip hand parallel with his body when I do that and just push his whole body over. Okay. So right now, okay, he actually is coming in. Oh. So I thought he was actually just kind of following the rail, but when I turned, he did actually come into me. So I'm just going to pet him for that, and we'll do it again. Push him out. Now I'll switch directions on him. So I had to tap his nose just a little bit to push him to the other side, because he seems to just want to be right in my center no matter what side he's on. I don't think that he's really picking a side. So you have to be very obvious about pushing him to what side you want him on, which is good anyway. You don't really want a horse running like straight behind you if something spooks him. You want him to your side. So I'll ask on this side. So right there, I'm going to take my whip and push his head over with my hand. So right there, he's coming in. I just put the whip right below his eye there and pushed him out. So. Totally. So yeah, if you can break this down more and literally just start on a rail, lift the whip up, walk back 3 steps, drop it and stop. I mean, I can kind of show that with him too. You don't even have to work on coming off the rail. So right now I'm pushing his head over with my whip hand to get him to my right shoulder. So we're on the rail, so I'll stop and tell him ho. I'm going to lift his head up just so he's not completely not paying attention. So yeah, you could start by whip up, walk forward, pushing his head out again. So and now he's starting to come to one side and the other instead of straight keeping at this point. I'm going to tap his butt just a little bit, so I'll take his halter off.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Trying to catch?
No, he's good.
He'll come to you. Yeah, he's following you.
Yeah, he
Well,
is.
he's also following me to the gate, so that's not really a good indicator. So since he did follow me away from the gate, I'm going to push his head back where I wanted it, which is on my other side. Pet him. Now I'll back up and see if he stays with me.
He's really good at that.
So right there, he's coming to straight to me again, so I'm going to push him out with the whip. I'm going to see if I can get a little trot here. So push him across my body. So he's still coming straight to me. So I have to slow down a little bit to get him back. And then I'll reward that since our battle changed from trying to get into a trot to trying to get him back on my correct side. Technically my left. So now I'll try for a trot again. Push his head out. Trot. Now we'll see if we can do a smaller circle here. So push him out around me. So he almost went too far, but then he did decide to come back and grab me. Had he walked out to the rail, I would have tapped him on the butt to get him back.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because he likes to come into you all the time. Like,
I mean, really, I'm bumping his head a lot of times.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem head shy at all.
no.
So I take the butt end of my whip, and I'm literally poking his head with it. So there he left. So right here, I'm gonna expect it and have him, he just ran into the whip. I didn't really move my hand out to where he was. I put it there knowing he was gonna come in, and he just ran into it and put himself back. Stop. So right there, and you might have to bend down to reach his head too.
He's so cute, but
So
naughty.
that was a lot of pressure on him, and he did stay with me, so I'll take a couple steps at a time until he knows what I want. I don't know if he really knows what I'm asking. Is he a licker?
Yeah.
Nibbler, licker, sniffer.
Head bobber. All of it.
So right there, take my hand and push his head out with my whip. And he's getting more and more easy to push out, I guess, as I stay consistent with how close he can get to me. Stop.
Yeah, he's very willing. That's
So right there, push his head out.
it makes it fun and defiant.
So I'm gonna get him back in position first. There we go. Good. So and I might get just a little more aggressive and more aggressive as he knows that my hand in his face means get out of my space. You know, I'll start bumping him just a little bit harder and a little bit harder. But that time he actually stood and isn't touching me. So he's already starting to build that space there. So we'll try the other direction. So he's kind of leading. I'm going to tap his butt there. So get in front of his eye. Keep the direction.
Yeah.
Come on. Good.
He didn't even know how to lunge when I started working with him, so.
And that was maybe a little bit hard for him, but the whip is wet, so it makes it a little bit harder to flip where I want it to. But he came straight to me. So there's where you start getting your whip flick, and they come to you. Right there, I'm just gonna push him back out where he was, his head. So what I'm looking for is his shoulder to move away. So I kept my hand there until he took his shoulder back out of my space. Try again. So that's even too where I can start rewarding if he moves back out. You can stop and reward that as well. So here I have to be aware where that fence is, so he has room to get around me here. Good boy. Now we'll try again for a trot on this side. Trot. Trot. Good boy. So he was lifting his head up because he was anticipating to push into me, but he didn't. So I'll just leave it there and ignore that. Had he actually come in, I would just ignore the head being up and just try and stay whatever level his head is at. You gonna try it with him? Now see if you can back a smaller circle and have him come out and around you more. So take your whip hand across your body, put it in his face, and push him out. Don't walk towards him, stay backing the whole time. There you go. So if you need to get him closer to you, use the whip and tap his butt instead of, because you started walking
Good boy.
towards him instead. So still back up, but put more pressure on his butt with the whip. There you go. Now see if you can ask for a trot. Tap him, tap him, tap him, tap him. So watch your left hand. Your left hand keeps swinging up and kind of in his face. So try and keep that a little more still. So he's on the outside. There you
Right there.
go. Good. Okay, push him with your whip hand. You can even take a finger and poke his head over. There. Keep going. Okay, now stop and pet him. So never stop because his head is coming too close. It looks like you're trying to fix him, so you're like grabbing or pushing his head and then you let him stop. You definitely don't want to let him stop if he's pushing into you. You want to get him back where he is, keep him going, and then reward when he's in the spot you want him. So see if we can do a little trot on this side. Push his head over. There. Tap him on the butt. Push his head out.
Trot, 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 trot. Good boy.
So you stopped when he came to
And
your
then-
wrong side again, right?
Yeah.
So keep him going until he comes back to the side you want him to stay on. You should be able to lift it. If I'm standing 50 foot back, I'm gonna have to put more pressure and snap it because she's farther away from me. Okay, I'll get out of your way.
No.
Sorry, bud.
So get his attention back. Oh,
There you
good
go.
boy.
Okay,
See?
so use your whip hand and put your whip hand in his face if he comes into you like that. There you go. Master, good boy.
Pet him. There you go.
Now see if you can back a smaller circle and have him come out and around you more. So take your whip hand across your body, put it in his face, and push him out. Don't walk towards him, stay backing the whole time. There you go. So if you need to get him closer to you, use the whip and tap his butt instead of, because you started walking
Good boy.
towards him instead. So still back up, but put more pressure on his butt with the whip. There you go. Now see if you can ask for a trot. You tap him, tap him, tap him, tap him. So watch your left hand. Your left hand keeps swinging up and kind of in his face. So try and keep that a little more still.
Go back and get it.
Good boy. There you go. Tap him, tap him, tap him. Good.
Pet him. Hey.
Try that again. So use your right hand too to push his head out across you. There you go. Trot. Tap. Tap. Keep going for a couple more steps.
Get on his other side.
Him, yeah. Get him to come across the other side of your body there. So back up. Step in front of him over here. Okay, kind of snap the whip at his shoulder there. There. Now back. Good. So your whip wasn't quite ready there. There you Here, I'll let you walk away so you just know. I know, you don't go there. So you're gonna turn, walk away from him, and then use your whip to push him to the other side, and then you can stop him back. So you need to give him more space because he's so in your space that you need more of a draw, and then you can switch your whip on him. And so that too, one of the maneuvers on the International Liberty horse is that shoulder to shoulder hoe. So it's the same maneuver. It's like if I'm walking, I should be able to take my whip. He's not super, there we go. Get him to the other side of my body. Hey,
Ignore him.
there, good boy.
So you want it to be a smooth motion. You don't want him to stop at all.
I don't want him to stop, and I don't want to surprise him. So I think one of the first ones you had, you turned your whip really fast, and all of a sudden the whip was like in his face. Because your whip moves way faster than you do. We only have to turn right here, whereas your whip has to cover all that distance to turn the same amount. So what a lot of people want to do. Boy. So if I'm walking, you like really fast take the whip over here. Now he didn't really react because he's not super reactive, but it does catch him by surprise a little bit. See how easy he was to get to my other side that time? So that's what you're doing when you're walking away, is you're giving him a chance to get to your other shoulder before you start backing again. So I'll ask him to go backwards, step away, catch him here. Now I can turn him back.
See where she put her whip? Like before she even
Step
turned.
away, catch him with the whip. Now I can turn him back. He's on my other side. Wanna try it? There. So when you turn a 180, walk away. Walk away, Use your whip to show him where you want him. Now turn him back. There you go.
Yay!
That was much better.
He's so connected with her, though. She probably doesn't need to touch him with the whip at all.
Only if you're wanting him to like catch up or trot, because he seems like he wants to walk a lot. But no, you don't have to touch him, especially for like changing sides. You don't really have to touch him. But what are you doing with your whip right there? Okay, well if your whip's on that side, he should be on your other side. There you go. There you go.
That's the fun part. That's what's fun
The trotting
is getting him.
or the direction.
Yeah.
So at one point, did you graduate this into like, you know, a canter or something
Yeah,
like that?
I mean, one like him, I would maybe work him at a trot for maybe another day, and then he could lope. It really depends on your horse. Like the first one we did, it might be a bit before you're asking for a lope, because if you keep driving, because he's so lazy, he's gonna get confused. We're not having to drive him a ton. So because when you add the pressure, there's more disconnect. So you have to have your draw really strong. His draw is insanely strong. So it's like, I can guarantee that horse can lope off and she'll be able to get him back in 2 seconds. So how easy can you get your horse back if he disconnects from you? You know, and that's another thing too, where you can just put the lead rope on, because they will want to leave you when they first start loping. So you have them stay with you and don't pull them in, but you know, let them go to the end of the lead rope, ask them to lope. And once they start to turn and look at you and start to lope like around you and paying attention to you, then you reward that stride.
Okay.
And then you progress off of that. So her biggest question was, what's the difference between whip up and whip out? So if I bring this whip up, so like right here, I'm showing him I want him to get to the shoulder. I'm like, hey, I don't want you to come, so he's looking straight at me again. I'm gonna lift the whip up and put it in his face a little bit and say, no, go find that shoulder. I don't want you in my center, go find my shoulder. Now if I put it out, I want him to increase the distance between him and I. See how now he's walking farther away? And so I can even start to walk at him just a little bit and keep my hand out at him to increase the distance between us. If I bring my hand back to my body, I'm inviting him back into my space a little bit more. But see there, he wants to start to come into the center, so there I just lift it and he goes back out. Does that make sense? So what you're working towards is I want to be able to put my hand out, put him on the size circle I want, and have him stay there. So for as long as I'm walking forward, I don't want him to come in at me. I want him to stay out on that bigger circle. But if I start walking back, I say get back to me and come closer to me. So I'm inviting him back in my space. So you can start backing just a little bit more just to get him in the motion, and then make your circle smaller and smaller. There you go. Yep. Push out, push out, push out. Now try and bring him back in just a little bit. Too much. Okay, now lower your arm, but still drive with his butt. So drive his butt, drive his butt. There. Bring your elbow into your side, but drive his butt. Drive his butt. A little harder. A little harder. Okay, now is where you kind of snap it at him because he's behind you pretty far.
Oh, that's right.
Let him find that shoulder. There you go.
I feel like you just step on me.
Then use the tip of your whip. Just take your hand up. There you go. Now drop your elbow again. He needs to learn how to maintain that by himself rather than you holding his hand the whole time. So you can hold his hand while he's learning, and now we want to phase out of holding the hand and giving him more freedom on his own to find the spot he needs to be in. So we want to help them less and less as they stay disconnected and is willing to work with you. Now you can push push your hand out towards him if you want him to have a bigger circle. Out, out. Okay, now see if you can bring him back in a little bit. Bring your hand back to your body.
His tail comes with.
So see how your whip was perpendicular to him, and the second you brought it parallel, he actually came towards you again. So back up a little bit more. Back, back.
And every time
Let
I
him
do
find
this,
your shoulder. Where's your shoulder at? There you go. There. Let him find your shoulder. Let him find your shoulder. There. So stop and pet him there. Because when you did start tapping his flank, he did come around back to you again. Even though you put more pressure on him, he got to you faster.
right.
So now we can try it again. Can you walk a smaller circle and have him going out and around you? Smaller circle.
Good boy.
Yep, drive him just a little bit more from his butt. There. So just stay backing with him there. He has lost you. And now you can stop the pedal.
Good.
So that's where we have to balance the drive versus draw, because you just saw, a little bit more drive, and he was like, okay, maybe I should leave you, but you still had enough draw. So that's why we have to balance that as you progress all the way.
Okay.
You have more draw, then you can use a little bit more drive, but you have to balance it. So walk away. There, catch his eye. Okay, now back really hard to your, yep, because we got.
Thank you.
There you go. Now you can back with him.
Good boy.
So go ahead and stop and pet him for that one. Good boy. So it's like we want to reward what he does on one side, we want to reward what he does on another side, but when he does a direction change and we're in both sides, we want to also reward that for now as well. So he learns that, well, if I stay with you through this corner, then I'll at least get a little bit of praise, and then we can go back to working on this side.
I don't have boots. My lead boots are just at home.
We can all
There you go, push him out and around just a little bit more. There you go. So walk backwards straight for a little bit to get him moving forward again, and then go back to your circle. Good, and pet him. So now let's try. So I'm going to take my whip hand, bring it across my body, and push his trajectory around my feet. See the difference there?
Okay. Yeah.
So he's gonna get a little bit confused here and try and change sides on me. There. So now I'm gonna go ahead and tap his butt and say, get back up here. He's a little bit behind where I want him to be.
Okay.
But did you see the shift in his feet? So I'll do it again. I might be able to do that shot. But it's the same concept in a walk. So right now, if he were trotting, his feet want to be like right where mine are going.
Gotcha.
So I'll get on the other side so you can see it again. So he's kind of coming in top of me. Take my hand out across his body, and he'll figure out that this needs to go. Okay. So I'm gonna wait for him to find that spot again. So there he's going out and around me. I don't want him on top of me. So right there he's coming in. I'm going to push his body out with my whip hand across my body there. Trot. So there my left hand moved to catch the lead rope and he stopped. So I think that's a lot of what you're doing is when you're doing this, you're taking this hand and going like that. And so he's sensitive enough that I literally just caught the lead rope and he stopped. Trot. Trot. So right now I want him to get up to me. Good. Trot. Trot. Trot.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Trot.
That looks like the same issue I was having with Nova, isn't it?
So and that's the draw part. I wanted him to draw up into me, which is what my whip was saying was get here, get here, get here, come to me. And he was hanging back. He was still walking my same speed, but I wanted him to increase to catch back up.
And she was feeling uncomfortable because he was coming on top of her, which is exactly what Nova was doing. Is in my space, I was getting cringy.
But
Yeah, because you don't want to be walked on.
Yeah,
you need to take this whip hand
whip
and
hand.
push it out across his body.
Okay.
So I'm literally creating a barrier and like a trajectory to where his feet should be going around mine. Now when he stops, if he doesn't stop, he's gonna miss me. He's not on top of me. You wanna try it? Yeah. Do you want me to do it one more time?
No, I can.
Trot. Trot. So he thought about it. I'm gonna go make a wall right here. So that time he didn't try and turn his butt to me the second time. So he's starting to figure it out, but see how he's coming back to me quicker and quicker each time? Good. So trot. Trot. A couple steps, reward. So I think too, the first time or two, he gave you a couple steps and then you asked for more. I think maybe you asked for too much because he gave something to you, but then it wasn't quite rewarded quick enough. So he may have gotten just a little lost. I'm gonna do a couple more steps and then we'll try it.
Yeah.
And now go for a trot. Good, and pattern. Good boy. So we have to accept less if they do get confused like that, because he wasn't trying to be bad.
No,
But that
he
was
just
his,
confused.
he started to zone out, and that's what he was doing when he was kind of zoning you out. So now, we'll go for, I don't even know how many steps that was, but maybe now we'll go for a half circle instead of a quarter circle. Now try it on the other side. So right there, your elbow pushed him, so he stopped. So place him before you turn in a better position, farther away from your body, so that you have the room. So that's like right there, push his head out even farther. There. Now you have room to do your turn, like if you were going the other way. But when you brought that second arm up, he immediately just stopped. Now see if you can ask. Yeah. Good, and reward him. That was one. We don't want to interrupt it if they have a rhythm, but if you see him starting to break to a walk in the beginning, we'll just reward that.
Okay.
Because he got it, especially because we switched sides.
Yeah.
So like had it been the other side, then I maybe would have asked for a little bit more. But just to make sure that he's getting it, if you see him slowing down, maybe just go ahead and ask him to stop, and then we can go for more next time. Just to reassure him along the way. Okay, now after the stop, so be a little bit more decisive about when you say ho, you're just going ho and stopping right away. Tell her ho and then let your feet stop. So give her a little bit of more of a precursor to know that you're going to stop. drop your whip when you say the word too. Now try it. Much better. Better for that. Now bump if she goes too far. There you go. Now bumper. Get her butt back around where it was. Good. Now try again. She went as soon as you lifted your whip up. You lifted the tip of your whip to try and get her head back, but you lifted the tip of it as well.
That was my fault.
Good. 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 Now try bringing her off the rail. Bring her in on that circle. Good. Now do a direction change. So start backing. Turn the whip away. Walk away from her. Nice. Holy hot. She was ready though. Asking her to go forward again. Now after stop. Back her. Back her. After forward. And stop. Now the other side. Good. Very nice. Now try bringing her off the rail again. Good girl. Now give her just a little bit more lead up and we'll see if we can get a trot out of her. I mean, I know we can because she wants to go forward. So start walking first. And then bring your whip tip a little closer to the hip of her. You can just kind of tap her. And we'll just look for a couple steps. Good. Now see you can stop her. Good. Just ignore her. Reach out and pet her. Even though she walked around a little bit, she still came back to you. Yeah. So go ahead and try it again. She just has so much energy that, like, I think she's, she is one. Do you lunge her at all?
I lunge her in a figure 8. That's about all I do to try to work on.
I mean, it might help if, she got some wiggles out first, depending on, what battles you want to choose, I guess. Because it will be harder to get her mind. So we'll ask her to trot, and maybe we'll keep her in that trot a little bit longer until she wants to stop a little bit more.
Should I leave the lead rope on?
That's up to you. You're going to have to go get her if you take it off. Just because she's not really paying much attention to you. Stop your body. Good. That was much better, and she didn't actually run through you at all.
Well, I might have done it.
Good. leave. I'm gonna get her back to the same direction. Step in front of her eye here. Push her back. Step in front of her eye. Push her back. So every time she starts dragging her butt into me, I'm gonna go push her butt. And then ask her to come in again. And now I'm gonna soften my body language the second she starts coming in. So step in front of her. Step in front. Soften. But I know she'll come all the way into me, so I'm gonna wait for her. Oh. And I just am gonna catch her nose before it gets across my body, so I don't have to get back on the other side of her again. So there, she thought about leaving me. So had she actually walked another step, I might have just tapped her on the butt. But since I want to reward her staying connected this time, but see how she was responding much better to when I put my whip down this time too.
That's because you know what you're doing.
You have to be very confident in what you're asking.
More difficultly done.
Right there, push her head across my body with my whip. So I'm gonna raise it up or down if she's putting her head down. Oh.
She's thinking about rolling. It looks to me like.
She's gonna turn a brown horse instead of a white horse. Now I'm gonna try and switch directions on her here before I ask for the trot, just so I know she'll stay connected on both sides. Oh. So right there where she took that little pause step, I just wiggled my whip at her and she walked right back up. So I wanted her to come back up to me because she got a little bit far behind for what I wanted. But she doesn't take much. So the other thing with her too that I noticed you doing is you're making a huge motion of smacking this whip on the ground.
Oh, instead of that.
It's easier to just go sideways or wiggle and then tap their flank area or their hip. Good. Than it is to make the whole motion because your whole arm is moving as well. Like I can go horizontally and wiggle this whip and my hand is hardly moving compared to going up and down. Now see if you can get her trot. 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 So because, and I was tapping her, so because she stayed, I'm going to give her a reward and then ask again. She's sensitive. Once she figures it out, I don't think it'll take. So right there, she thought about leaving. And when she thought about leaving me, I backed up extra hard to draw her back in and create more draw, and she did come back. So that's where a lot of people, when they start leaving, want to start walking towards them and drive them out.
Right.
So ask for a trot again. Trot. Trot. So I will let her stop just because I feel like she might disconnect if I ask for it too fast. Just because she's already wanting to pay attention to everything but me. So I'll switch directions on her. She's one, you're going to have to try and keep up with her mind. If you do the same thing over and over and over, she's going to get bored. So I'm going to have to switch it up. Ask for this, ask for that, change direction. I think she was the one I came in here and right away asked for direction changes to get her mind thinking. Because she's she's a thinker. We'll ask for a trot this way. So wiggle the whip. Tap her. Tap her. So right there, she kind of left me. Keep my wall, step in front of her high here. I'm gonna draw her back in, but I'm gonna wait before I give her a reward.
She disconnected for about half.
her coming back in. I need to reward her staying connected to me. And now I'll have to try it. Trot. 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 And that was much nicer because I think it was on that side is where she's wanting to leave. So since she stayed around that bend and had committed to staying with me, I'll reward her there. Trot. Trot. So I had to drop my whip there because I got tangled in her back legs. But did you see her actually start to stop? Because I dropped my whip. I didn't ask any other way. I just dropped my whip and she's like, she backed off a little bit. Drop. 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 Drop.
Is she just playing with her head?
She's like, I don't know that I want to. But she's staying
okay.
connected.
Oh, it's a
She's
female thing.
protesting, but she's not totally leaving me.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna leave. Like if she gets too close to me, I'll put my whip hand up and I'll just push her head up. Oh, see, she did it again. So I'll bring my whip hand across and push her head up further. So did you see
Ah, she got her way. Oh, how cute.
She's not very traumatized, is she?
So funny.
Wait.
She says,
My
"Was that the
camera's
lay
slow.
down,
Just
Q?"
wait. Stay there.
Oh, dig it in, baby.
It was a white horse.
She's not rolling. She just having a rest.
So that's something that you'll have to pick too. What do you want as a temper tantrum?
Yeah.
Is it better that she's doing this or like kind of wanting to pop up over my head? You know, it's like, so.
Well, if I'm on her, I don't want that.
How about? So now I'm not gonna let her do it. Good. So I'd see if you can stop her and pet her. So if you reach out before she stops, you can keep her on that same side instead of waiting for her to stop all the way. Because what you're doing is you're giving her the option to make that mistake of coming across your body.
So I should pet her.
So if you stop her, I mean, she looks like she's going to stop. You can tell she's going to stop. Reach out and pet her before she brings her head across your body. Because she stops and then does that every time. So if you catch her while she's stopping and put your hand out, then she can't get her head across you. So just
Because
try
I'm
that.
trying to make eye contact with her while she turns and looks at me, or
I mean, if she's used to just coming into you or being on top, I mean, she just is too inquisitive and not super respectful. Yeah. So she's just like, you have space? What? You know, she's looking for approval. She's
your
looking
space
for.
is my space, is
Yeah.
what she says.
She's like, do I get attention? Do I get this? Do I get that? Do you have treats? Like, she's just kind of all over the place. But try it again and see. Just go ahead and put your hand up and start patting her neck before she all the way stops. If she's like completely running, don't touch her. But good. Now try and draw her off the fence a little bit. So if she feels like she's gonna run by you, try and bring her off the fence so you're doing a smaller circle. There you go. So bring her off the fence a little bit farther. Now go ahead and stop and pet her. You almost had it. So yep, walk back. There. And you can raise your whip hand a little bit farther up because she seems to be coming on top of it for the most part. So let let her go and go catch her over on the other end. There you go. That's the side you wanted her on though. So right there, wait. Now start going over in front of her eye and back up. Good. So you were a little bit quick to go cut her off on the other side, which is why she turned back around. So like you ran after her on this side, which is fine to get her back to going the way she was, but then you did the same thing on the other side as well.
She's all worried about that horse instead of me, though.
So raise your whip a little bit more in her face. There. Now you can drop it when she's being good. Tap her just a little bit. Good. Now see if you can circle her off the fence. Stop and pet her. See how she didn't get her head across to you that time? That's what you want. And she didn't move her butt as much either. So right there, push them out just a little bit. There you go. Now see if you can switch directions on her. Now you're paying attention. Now switch directions again. So right there, you can use your whip and push his head out. Switch directions on him again. Switch directions on him again. Much nicer. Switch directions on him again. Switch directions on him again. So you can walk away another 2 steps when you have your back turned to give him just a little bit more room. Walk away. There you go. Do it again. Walk away. Switch. There you go. Now ask him to stop. Whip down. Hold. Wait for him. There you go. Now ask him to trot. Make him put a little bit more effort into it. If he gets going too fast, you can just change direction. Walk away, walk away.
I hear like, come on now.
So that's where you have to turn and walk away. And then switch back over. Now see if you can ask him to stop again. Good boy. Yep, just say, Garrett, whip down to reward him. Good boy. For not even a panel, thought about taking off and just going out on the round pen, reward him. Good boy. So right there, yep, you didn't change direction, so get him back the way he was going. Good. That's the spot. Yep. You're just gonna have to keep pushing him back the way he was. Good. Now let him walk around you. Good boy. Good. Now see if he can stop. Good boy. So now he's starting to engage with you. So it's like even if he is out there and not drawing into you, you can still make his mind think. Now change directions on him. Walk away. Catch him with your whip. Very nice. Now see if you can stop and pat him. And make sure you're putting your whip down and saying ho first. Because you're just stopping and then he's like, I mean, he's not being bad, but you just all of a sudden stop and he kind of has to catch himself. There you go. Push him out around you just a little bit. Good. Much better. Now see if you can stop him, but say ho and put your whip down. Good. Now for a trot this way. Trot.
So what was that? If you wanted to stop and he doesn't stop, ask for a direction change to kind of get his attention back.
For him, yeah.
Okay.
Because he's just so, and he's not a lazy horse. 'Cause a lot of them are lazy and just kind of walk through you. So if they're being lazy, it's way easier to make them back up than it is a horse that, you know, Find it. There. Back up with her. Back up. You're walking forward again. There. So longer whip would help.
There we go.
Okay, back up, back up, back up. Now stop and pet her.
Stop it. Stop and pet her.
Do you want to use a longer whip?
Yeah. See, I told you, Mom. Give it. I'm used to using my hands. I haven't even used whips that much. See me here. Mom, she's a big horse. We have to have a big whip.
Okay, so bring the tip of a rope closer to your butt. There you go. Back up in front of her. Good.
Good girl.
Now pet her.
Good girl. On the side. There you go. Good girl.
Pick what side you want to be on there. There you go. So back up with her. Back up. Back up. There you go. Yep, so tap her on the butt a little harder and get her up to you. Stay walking backwards. There you go. Backwards there. Stay backwards, backwards, backwards. Wait for. Wait for. I really want her to soften and come towards you. There, like that.
Now.
Open. Drive her out with your hand. You want to do it with your whip. There you go. Tap her on the butt. Good. Stay with her. Stay with her. See if she'll come in a little bit, but don't pull her in. There. Now pet her. There, back. Good.
There we go.
Now see if you can get her in towards the little floor and then stop and pet her. So your whip was still up. It's still up when you're asking her to stop. You want to grab her and you won't touch her. And catch her on this side rather than right here. Because you're taking pressure off. When you're changing directions the other way, you're putting more pressure on her and expecting her to do nothing.
Yeah.
At least they
And I've taught her, like, when I touch her with the whip, she can move. You know, I've taught her to, like, when you teach them to go away from you and stuff. So that's why she moves her hindquarters around her front and her front feet around her back.
I'm just going to use my hand to push her out a little bit more. It's not a bad thing, too. You know, I kind of want her hindquarters to move away from me when I touch her.
Yeah.
In order to make this circle around. So right there, I want to reward that she didn't leave me, but I do want at least 2 or 3 steps back up to me when I change direction.
Okay. We worked on the changes, except I've never really done it with the whip. I've done it with my arms.
You just have to be walking backwards when you want her to draw into you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to push her with my whip. I'm going to tilt there, release that. So right there, she started to.
Yeah.
So I quit bumping Stella. She turned her head away from me, but she never moved her shoulders. So I quit bumping getting a little closer. She took her head off the rail.
So she goes to the gate. So this one might help with that too. For me. Stubborn and
Jackie this circle in front of her.
okay. It's almost like a joining up too. You're waiting for her to come in too. Ooh. You should have done like that.